And we back. Now today, I don't necessarily know what I'm going to title this video. We're going to go on one of the tons and tons of Instagram pages dedicated to the NBA and basically just talk about some of the posts. You know, something very laid back on this Monday. Today we're using the page all.nba.riddles, and believe it or not, they don't really even do riddles. I don't even know where the name comes from. But I saw that they had some pretty entertaining stuff that I want to talk about, so let's get over to it. So I went to the gym this morning, decided to run a game of basketball. Just one, because y'all know I'm not a hooper. I decided to run one game to try to get some cardio in. In this one game, second play, took a smooth elbow right to the mouth. Blood gushing, you know, I basically busted my lip. So I'm editing this video and I can't help but to notice the mark is healing. Hopefully it'll be gone soon, but it's distracting me editing, so I thought I should explain to y'all what happened. The Nets traded all these players: Damian Lillard, Markelle Fultz, Jaylen Brown, Kyle Kuzma, Draymond Green, Colin Sexton, Naz Kanter, Kelly Oubre, and then that one guy that got drafted this year whose name I cannot pronounce and I won't try to butcher it. Now y'all probably think to yourself, Hamdou Diallo. None of these players ever played in the Brooklyn Nets uniform. What they're trying to insinuate is that they were drafted with picks that were originally owned by the Brooklyn Nets. So notoriously, Billy King, who used to be the general manager of the Brooklyn Nets, traded away like 3 to 4 first rounders in exchange for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. And that turned out to be one of the worst trades ever because it set the Brooklyn Nets back so much. He was like, we're going to get these 2 stars and we're going to win a championship, so who cares about these picks? And then they didn't win a championship, and those picks turned out to be really good because the Brooklyn Nets are trash now. And then they did some other moves here and there. That's why you get like Damian Lillard and Draymond Green and all that. So technically, this is kind of true. They were drafted with picks that were owned by the Brooklyn Nets. But, so Jaylen Brown was drafted 3rd overall in 2016 by the Boston Celtics. Now, if we take a look at this mock draft here, Jaylen Brown wasn't even supposed to go until about number 9. You know, number 9. But Danny Ainge and the Boston Celtics front office fell in love with him so fast that they decided to draft to number 3. And if y'all remember, there are people that were like, why did they take Jaylen Brown? Chris Dunn is the guy. And Chris Dunn was projected to go number 3. So let's say the Brooklyn Nets did have this pick in 2016. They may not have picked Jaylen Brown. Actually, they probably wouldn't have picked Jaylen Brown. They probably wouldn't have went Chris Dunn. So I know at the root of all things, that picture we saw is true, but you never really know who they're going to draft with that pick. If you think about this Anthony Bennett from, I don't know, how many years ago was that? Was that 5 or 6 years ago now? He was projected to go 6, 7, and 8, but he was drafted 1st overall. And then even this year in 2018, Michael Porter Jr. was projected to go 7, 8, but he went all the way at 14. So who knows what the Brooklyn Nets would have selected with those picks, but I understand the picture. Choose one shooting guard to start a franchise where you got T-Mac, Vince Carter, Dwayne Wade, and Allen Iverson, 4 of the best players from the 2000 era. I'm going to pick Dwayne Wade. If you ask me if we're ranking shooting guards of all time, I got, of course, Jordan, then I got Kobe, and then I got Dwayne Wade. And after that, I'll probably have AI. And I know it's probably surprising y'all that I picked Dwayne Wade over AI because I had a video like naming my favorite players of all time. And I think Allen Iverson was like number 1. Yeah, I think in that video he was my favorite player of all time. So I'm going with something that he did that the rest of them didn't do, and that's win. And I know that's kind of weird to say because in Allen Iverson's case, he didn't really have a chance to win. Yes, he got all the way to the championship game to go against that Lakers team, but his team was pretty bad. At least in comparison to that Lakers team, they didn't really have a chance. They stole game 1 based off Allen Iverson dropping so many points game 1, but he was never in a position to win. But I believe that I think Dwayne Wade just got that championship DNA. Championship DNA. Think about the championship he got in 2006 before before LeBron James helped him get 2 more. Look at his averages from that final series. And I could be mistaken here, but I think they were down 2-0. They were down 2-0 and end up winning that series 4-2. And you take a look at the last 4 games that he played in that finals, he averaged like close to 37 or so points per game. That is crazy. Let me take over this series type stuff to win a championship. So I'm going to go him, but I understand if you want to go T-Mac. I understand if you want to go Vince Carter. I understand even if you want to go AI. But personally, I'm going to go with Dwayne Wade. Prime Dwayne Wade. I'm guessing all of these people in their prime. If there was no one and done rule, Malik Newman is probably a lottery pick as a high school senior. He's about to go undrafted instead. So that's one thing. And then the post right before that is very similar. Trevon Duval will be the craziest undrafted story ever. #1 player in the nation in high school, went to Duke and went undrafted. Wow. So there are two different approaches you can come to this. These are two guys that just went undrafted when in high school they were the cream of the crop. They were the top guys. One of them went to Kansas, one of them went to Duke. Two of the best basketball colleges out there, universities out there. There's two ways you can think about this, and I'm going to think about it my way. So some people are criticizing these guys because they probably should have stayed in school. You know, you just went undrafted as a freshman. You stayed your sophomore season. Then maybe next year you get drafted. Or you stay your junior year. Maybe you get drafted. You stay all 3 or all 4 years. Maybe you get drafted. But instead, Trevon Duval was like, you know what? College ain't paying. And I want to go try to chase the bag. And I'm going to say to him, you have all the right to do that. If I was in your position, I would do that too. Because personally, I believe that college sports in general are fleecing these athletes, right? You can argue that these athletes get paid through education, but let's be real. Most of these guys that are playing Division I basketball, they probably not there because they want the education. They're there to fulfill their dreams of potentially playing in the best basketball association out there, the NBA, right? So they go to college because they have to. They do the 1 year and then they go into the draft. Unfortunately for Trevon Duval, it didn't go the way he projected. You know, he was projected to get drafted and he did it. But instead of when he saw that he probably wasn't going to get drafted, because that's not nothing new. He wasn't projected to really go anywhere. He could have went back to school. There was like a cutoff date. If you felt like your draft stock was not going up, you could have went back to school. But he's like, you know what? I'm going to take my chances. And I respect that. Because now I think he just signed a summer league deal. That's some money. And you can play in the G League. That's some money. Or he can play overseas. That's some money. But I know this guy, at the end of the day, he wants his profession to be a professional basketball player. And this is him fulfilling his dream. Like some people are saying, like, listen, it was just a dumb decision. Now you don't have guaranteed money. But he ain't had guaranteed money in college either. So I don't know. That's just what I think. I think he's doing the right thing. Could he make a roster off the summer league stuff? Definitely. Even if he doesn't make an NBA roster, I'm sure somebody overseas would love to have him and he can make his money. So the other day during the NBA draft, Joel Embiid tweeted, "Don't compare Ayton to me either. I play defense." Yes, that's very, very true. He definitely does play defense. I mean, I'm pretty sure he is a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. He was an all-defensive team player. And DeAndre Ayton is not a defender, you know, which is fine. He's a rookie. He could develop defense, but maybe he doesn't. And that's completely fine, too. But this is my disagreement with comparisons. Because when you compare these two players, and I did see people saying, like, DeAndre Ayton is basically just like JoJo. I'm like, no two players are exactly the same. So then you get the misconception here. JoJo's like, this guy's nothing like me. Maybe on one side of the ball he might be, but I play both. So that's why I don't really like comparisons, but I understand why they're necessary for like the average fan or the guy that didn't watch college ball like me. I'd be like, oh, okay, so he's similar to Joel Embiid. Or like Wendell Carter Jr. was compared to Carlos Boozer. I was like, oh, okay. So you kind of get an idea of the skill set you're about to see, but it's never one-to-one. So I understand Joel Embiid's frustration, but I thought it was funny. Do you think Michael Porter Jr. can overcome his back injury, or is it career-threatening? I just hope that he does. I hate to see a young guy's career end before it actually even starts. So I hope it does. But the word around town is he had the same back surgery as Tiger Woods. If y'all remember, Tiger Woods ain't the same as he used to be, you know, after that back surgery and the whole scandal and everything. He just wasn't the greatest golfer of all time anymore. And I think Steve Kerr also had the same back surgery. Remember, Steve Kerr couldn't even travel with the team for a while as a coach. He couldn't even travel with the Warriors for a while, and that's when they had the interim coaches and everything. So if that's the case, that he had those back surgeries, I understand why he fell all the way to 14, because that can be some scary stuff. I couldn't imagine wasting a lottery pick on a guy that potentially will never end up playing a full NBA season. It's already rumors that he's going to miss his technical rookie season, and if I was in the lottery, I was like, I don't know if I want that. But him being drafted number 14 to the Denver Nuggets is, I think that's perfect for both sides. You know, even if he does sit out the entire season, the Denver Nuggets are in a situation now where they'll be fine without him. Or if he does play, then it's just a plus. Or for Michael Porter Jr., he doesn't have these crazy expectations anymore. There was rumors that the Sacramento Kings were thinking about taking him with the 2nd overall pick. Can you imagine if he was taken 2nd overall and then it released that, you know what, he probably won't play. I'm sure a lot of fans would have been upset about that, you know? So I think it's a win-win for both situations. I'm hoping that he ends up being healthy and can play a long career without injury there, injury there, injury there. I'm hoping for him. And I think that's where we're going to wrap up the video. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave it a like. If there are some other Instagram pages similar to this that just have random discussion stuff, hit it in the comment section below and I'll take a look. And if they're decent enough, I'll make a video on it. Why not? Thank y'all. Peace.